This week there has been a ton of news in the AI world. As you can see from my tabs, I have a lot of news to cover, from the new Llama 3.1 405 billion models to DeepMind winning silver medal in International Math Olympiad. So let's jump in. The first biggest news of the week has been by far Llama 3.1 release. Meta released Llama 3.1 with three model sizes, that is 8 billion, 70 billion and 405 billion. Not just that, they released all these models with 128K context length support, and they are equally good to closed source and both open source models. On top of that, they have released it with a new license in which they are permitting everybody to use these models for synthetic data generation and model distillation, which will allow people to use these bigger large models to create and train smaller models and also generate synthetic data for fine-tuning their own models. As you can see from the model evaluation, the 405 billion model clearly is one of the top models when compared with GPT4o, GPT-4 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. They tested it across multiple benchmarks such as MMLU, Human Eval, GSM-8K and more. They also compared Llama 3.18 billion and 70 billion models and showed that it is clearly the best contender across their similar size models such as Llama 2, Mistral 7B Instruct, Mistral 8x22B Instruct and GPT 3.5 Turbo. So now you have a model which clearly exceeds and surpasses these closed source models such as GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 Turbo as well. The next news came just a day later from Llama 3.1 release, which is Mistral Large enough model. The Mistral AI team claims that the Mistral Large 2 model is a flagship model and is capable enough in code generation, mathematics and reasoning, along with multilingual support and function calling capabilities. Some of the specifics that they have released for Mistral Large 2 is that it was trained with 128K context length and supports a dozen of languages such as French, German, Spanish and more. It was also trained on 80 plus coding languages such as Python, Java, C, C++ and more. Mistral Large 2 is a 123 billion parameter model, and they have specifically kept it of 123 billion size so that it can fit on a single GPU node. Mistral Large 2 has been released under a Mistral research license that allows usage and modification for research purposes but not for commercial usage. On code and reasoning, Mistral Large performs on par with GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 Sonnet like models, as you can see in this evaluation, where Mistral Large 2 was only 1% behind GPT-4o, and they also compared with Llama 3.1 405 billion model. Similarly, on Math Instruct dataset and GSM-8K, Mistral Large 2 showed at par performance with even larger size models. The tool use and function calling of Mistral Large 2 is beyond GPT-4o and other flagship models. The next news is from OpenAI, who released GPT4o-mini, a cost-effective model. What they claim is that GPT4o-mini is able to score 82% on MMLU benchmark and is priced at 15 cents per million input tokens and 60 cents per million output tokens, which is 60 times cheaper than GPT 3.5 Turbo. It has a context window of 128K and supports up to 16,000 tokens in the output, and the knowledge cutoff is until October 2023. As you can see in their evaluations, GPT4o-mini was compared with Gemini Flash, Claude Haiku, GPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT-4o, and GPT-4o-mini was clearly able to outperform other flagship models which were of smaller sizes such as Flash and Haiku, and also GPT 3.5 Turbo across benchmarks like MMLU, MGSM, Math and Human Eval. OpenAI also released Finetuning GPT4o-mini, and not just that, they have kept it free of cost training up to 2 million tokens until September 23. This will allow you to fine-tune GPT-4o-mini for your own use cases and specialized solutions. And the common use cases around that could be setting a particular style, tone or format, or other qualitative aspect, improving reliability in production setting, and handling certain edge cases in many specific ways. For fine-tuning the model, you can go to the platform.openai.com and start a fine-tuning job by just selecting the base model as GPT-4o-mini and then providing your datasets. I will leave the link to the documentation for fine-tuning in the description below. Another big news from OpenAI is they are launching a new prototype for redefining search called SearchGPT. The search experience in this is very similar to Perplexity AI, in which you are able to chat with SearchGPT while also getting search results. As you can see in the example, it is able to find out some examples and also show you the references. and also answer questions like will it be hot, on which it shows you the output of the temperature. OpenAI is currently releasing SearchGPT to select users, and you can join the waiting list to try it out yourself as well. The next news is from Meta AI, which are the true open source torchbearers. They have released Segment Anything 2 model under the Apache 2.0 license. The Segment Anything 2 model allows you to segment out different objects in zero-shot performance. As you can see in the demo video, it is able to extract out the dog and the ball and also replace it with other objects. Along with the model, they have also released a 51K video dataset with masks and are showing video tracking capabilities using Segment Anything 2. One of the cool things about SAM2 is the spatio-temporal segmentations, in which even if an object is hidden under a certain object, it is still able to keep track of where that object might be. And as you can see in this video, once the cup is revealed, the ball is still being tracked by Segment Anything model. You can also try SAM2 by yourself by going on sam2.metademolab.com, and here you can select different objects. So let me just try to select a ball, and we can also select the wristband that the guy is wearing, which could be a tricky case. And let's see if it is able to track these objects in the video. And as you can see, it is able to track both these objects, the ball and the wristband, correctly in the complete video itself. Segment Anything 2 is being released under Apache 2.0 license, and you can go ahead and use it for research and commercial purposes. The next news is from DeepMind, where they won silver medal in International Math Olympiad using Alphaproof and Alpha Geometry 2. What they mention is that Alphaproof is a new reinforcement learning based math method for formal math and reasoning, and Alpha Geometry 2 is an improved version of geometry solving system. Using these two systems together, they were able to solve 4 out of 6 problems from this year's International Math Olympiad, achieving the same level as a silver medalist with 28 points. Their architecture first converts an informal problem into a formal structured problem using a formalized network. Using this formal problem then is being passed to the solver network, which searches and creates a solution which is then used to train over it again, similar to the AlphaZero training style. While this is very interesting, one of the key things to note is that Alphaproof and Alpha Geometry took more than 60 hours to solve the problems, whereas typically a human would have to solve this within 4 to 4.5 hours. That too with much more compute than a normal human brain. So that is all from this week's AI news. If you liked this content, do let me know in the comments below if I should continue this series on a weekly basis. And make sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified whenever I post a new content. Until next time, this is Anubhav. Bye-bye.